All right. Well, Alexis was my student last year and often came and visited me this year. But last year she was in a class. It was a great class, second period. And the nicest thing was that Alexis laughed at all of my jokes. Some of them went over other kids' heads, and either they didn't go over her head or she was just extraordinarily polite. But I so appreciated her laughter. She's also one of the most creative students that I've ever had, in every way that you can imagine. And so I had to bring these to show. She made these Valentine's cards for me. I always hand out little Valentine's cards every year, and she felt like, well, then I have to make one for Miss Rawson, so she made me two, actually. And they're hilarious Star Wars puns. This one says, "You've been looking for love in Alderaan places." Kills me. And then this one says, "Valentine, don't leave me solo." And I just thought, this just tells you the kind of brilliance that she had. This is clever, brilliant, cute, well accomplished. I feel like that was her every day of her life, and she will be greatly missed. She had a special relationship with every person that she came in contact with, and here at East Tech, we'll never let her go. Ms. Getting said she represented the East Tech ideal, and we all believe that.
One memory I have with Alexis is like a bunch of memories. We'd always meet in awkward moments in the hallways, and every time we walk by, and I say, "Hey, Alexis," and she's like, "Hey, beautiful," and like that's the one memory I'm never gonna forget, because it's gonna be here all the time. Every time I walk up and down the hallways, you know, I'm waiting for someone to say "beautiful" to me.
Alexis was always really friendly and happy. She was one of the best students here, and she made everyone feel really special. I think my favorite part about her was when she showed me like some books and stuff, because she was like a really big bookworm, and she talked to me about Sherlock Holmes when I thought it was just a stupid movie. But we're all really gonna miss you.
Okay, so I remember this one time Alexis was taking me home, and we were driving down my neighborhood, and like she like hops out the car, door open, like car keys still in the ignition. She's like running, and I'm like, where is she going? And my other friend Naomi's like, I think she's chasing bunnies. And I'm like, you're never gonna catch these. She's like, shut up. She's like, she books it. And I'm like, dude, you're never going, shut up. And I'm like, get in the car, Alexis, I have to go home. And she's like, I'm just gonna be a second. And like she tries to catch the bunnies, and then it just disappears because it's in the middle of the night. So she like walks back to the car, and she's like, am I fugly? I'm like, what? And she's all like, am I fugly? Is that the bunny was running from me because I'm fugly, right? I don't even know. I'm like, child, it's gonna be okay. You're not fugly. You're not fugly. And that's probably one of the happiest memories I have of her.
Well, I have to say, anything in regard to Alexis is a happy experience. But one of the things Alexis loved to do was to play little jokes on people. And I had an opportunity to play a little joke on her. Not too long ago, she had requested a letter of recommendation from me for a very important scholarship that she was applying for. Gave me very little time to do it, but she came the day that it was due to pick it up. I happened to have several individuals in the class with me when she came to pick it up, and I saw this as a great opportunity to play a joke on her. She came in and said, well, first of all, I asked her, to what do I owe this, the pleasure of your presence here today, Alexis? And she says, oh, I came by to pick up my letter of recommendation. And I, of course, with a very straight face and very serious, said, that was today? I had everybody fooled in the classroom. She turned around, and I could hear her say, Mr. Stewart dropped the ball. You could tell she was about ready to lose it because this was a very important scholarship for her. I let her feel that pain just a little bit, and then I pulled out from under a stack of papers on my desk. I said, oh, you mean this letter of recommendation? She just about died. It was amazing. I felt really, really pleased to be able to play the same kind of practical joke on her that she often would play on me and many of her fellow classmates and friends. She could take a joke as well as giving it. So what a blessing to be able to have her in our lives, and her memory, her legacy will be forever in my heart. I love her dearly. Thanks a bunch.
Do you want to be in my show? Well, I didn't really ask her to be in my show. I told her, you're going to be in my show and you're going to close my show. And she goes, I don't know how to model. I don't know how to do anything. But I told her not to worry about it because we'd arranged for everything. I had one of my girls actually teach her how to do the runway walk, and I made her buy 6-inch heels. And she was panicking because she couldn't find the shoes. She went through 7 different stores, and she told me that she felt so bad that they were glittery. And I told her not to worry about it because at the end of the day, we all just ended up wearing whatever shoes we could find. And you know, working up to the show, that week before the show when I was finishing up all the dresses, she was gone at Skills USA, so her, Yeshuba, and Asia were gone, and I needed to do alterations to their outfits, and I had to make Alexis' dress without her there. So the whole week I was so worried that it wouldn't fit, and I made her skirt and I made the top with the lace. And that morning when she got there, the top fit perfectly, so there's nothing wrong there, and I was so glad that I didn't have to go and fix it. But we had to mount the skirt onto her, and we had a lot of work to do that morning. So that morning we were running around, and I remember I told her, I was like, get to my house as early as you can. She's like, I told her I was going to be awake at 5, and she was at my house at 5:30. And when she got there, we were all tired, and I was like, okay, we have to get through this. And she ended up being my assistant for the day. She ended up checking my phone. She was tweeting for me. She was making sure people were getting to my house. She was making sure everyone was okay. And throughout the day, she was a big help, and there's a lot of things about that day that I remember. She broke the iron that we were using to iron all the outfits. She was kind of dancing around, and she turned and she knocked over the ironing board, and she broke my iron, and I still have the iron at home sitting in my garage. I remember but distinctly that morning, Tatiana had brought me breakfast, and when we were eating, while I was eating, I kind of stopped and I ate for 5 minutes. I took a bite out of my burger. I placed it on my desk, and I didn't eat any of my fries, and I got 2 burgers, 2 servings of fries, and 2 drinks because I was busy, and she's like, you need to eat. So Alexis was my assistant, so I told her just eat, grab some of the food but save me some. But what she ended up doing, she ate both of the burgers, she ate both servings of fries, she drank both of the sodas, and I didn't really notice because I was running around like crazy, like a madman with my head like dislocated. And when we got to the Springs Preserve, when we were about to do the closing of the show, that's when I was walking out with all my girls. I remember her telling me, she was holding my hand, she's like, I need to tell you something. I'm like, right now, really? And she's like, yeah. So as we were walking out, we're holding hands, and she turns to me, she goes, I ate your fries and your burgers, and I drank your drink, so don't be mad at me. And I wasn't mad, I just kind of like giggled and smiled as we walked together, and I think it was like one of the best moments ever, because she didn't care that I didn't eat. She just helps herself, and she's so genuine about it, and there's no way I could be mad. I mean, I was walking with her, and that morning we were spray painting the dress, so like there was no reason to be mad. And I think that she definitely defined my high school experience, because if it wasn't for her, you know, she would listen to me when I came out to my mom, when I was having problems with her, when she wouldn't listen to me, when we wouldn't talk, and she was there for me. She told me that I'd be okay, and she told me that no one was gonna pick on me, and I was gonna have a good time throughout high school. And she was always there, even if she was only there for 5 to 10 minutes, she was always there, and I miss her so much. My sister misses her. She made my sister a cake for her birthday because she can go to her party, and she's such a sweet girl. I love her so much.
Well, I knew Alexis from middle school, and unfortunately I wasn't too close with her in high school. But from what I remember, we were really close in 7th grade. Like, we'd go on the straight A field trips and be nerdy together. And before, we'd wait by the buses, and at one time we had these bubble things, and she got super excited, and she grabbed them from me, and I had my camera, and it'd do the super quick shots, so it looked like a movie when it was done, and she'd just be blowing bubbles. She'd be like, let's do the pictures. And when we finally get to the field trip place, she would sit at the table, and she'd be like, look at this, and she'd move 2 giant pixie sticks, and I did the pictures, and we would do stuff like that a bit, and we'd always go to the park together and hang out for long periods of time, and we'd do stuff like, I'd go to her house, and she'd be like, are you hungry? I'm like, yeah, obviously I'm always hungry, and she'd get really excited. She'd always cook for me and like play video games, and as I got into high school, I was in a different house than her, so we unfortunately started drifting apart. But every time I'd see her, I'd be like, hey Alexis, did you paint your room? Or I'd say stuff like, oh, when are we gonna do this? And it'd be unfortunate because she worked and I had a lot of school, and we just drifted. And it's funny because just a few weeks ago I was looking through my old pictures and I saw the field trip pictures. I was like, oh wow, I need to get back in touch with her because she's so awesome. And just, I lost all my numbers, so I was actually about to get her number, and now I can't do it. But she was one of the funniest people ever, and she'd always brighten your day. There was nothing she couldn't do. Like, anything that you needed, she'd be there for you. And that's what we should all learn from her, that you should want to help people and you should want to be the better person. Strive to be like her.
Very first memory with Alexis was the first day of freshman year, and she walked up to me and put her hand out and was all excited. She's like, "Hi, I'm Alexis, what's your name?" And instantly you fall in love with her. That's just what happens. You can't not look at her and her smile and how happy she is and excited and not love her. And one thing that she loved that I could relate to her, I didn't love as much, but was Star Wars. And so we would talk about it and just laugh and be like, "Oh my gosh, it's great, life is great." And she's always one that could make you feel better about yourself, no matter what kind of day you were having. Just being in the same room with her could make you smile. And I love you, Alexis. I miss you. I hope you're doing well in heaven.
So Alexis was a wonderful person, and I really miss her, but I have great memories about her, and I have this crazy story we both promised we wouldn't tell, but I guess it's time for everyone to know. So, can't even, I had never watched Star Wars, and she was very upset, so I ended up watching one of the movies, and I told her the next day at school, and she was so excited. She planted a kiss on me, and I didn't know how to react, but we promised we wouldn't tell anyone because it was the awkwardest thing ever, and I'm always going to remember her because it was so crazy, and we had like the best times ever, but it was a one-time thing, guys, so yeah, I really love her, and I'm going to miss her. And, I mean, I had amazing times with her, and then, yeah.
One of my favorite memories would be working for ProStart. We got really close. My favorite memory was when I went over to her house to work with the ProStart, and she told me she wanted to be a French nanny, and I made fun of her because I thought she was playing around, but she was like, "Nope, I'm going to Europe, I'm going to be a nanny," and I just couldn't stop laughing, and she's going to be missed around school. And it's going to be hard without her, but I know that as a family, we're going to get through this.
First time that I met Alexis, it was probably about 3rd grade, and we met on the playground. She was jump roping with Kalia and a few other people, and so it was probably about my first week of school on this side of town, and I probably only made about like 5 or 6 friends by the time that I was like on this side. And then she just, I was walking by, and she was all like, "Hey, Gabe," and I was surprised anybody knew my name. I was very confused in life, and I didn't know what was going on. And so she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, just walking, having some fun, playing on the playground. Really, I was by myself, and it was sad as hell. But so she was like, "So you want to like you want to jump rope over here? Like you want to come over and jump rope with us?" And so I walked over. And I was like, I really didn't know how to jump rope. I was really like a fat kid, and it was really struggling for me to jump. And so, like, she came over and she showed me how to jump rope. And then for probably about 20, 30 minutes, we were just like jump roping and talking until recess ended. And she taught me how to do, and then like the next day, she saw me again and she taught me how to like double dutch. And that was like the best moment of my life. And I mean, it just shows what type of person she was, to where you could be like the lonely kid, you could be like the new kid or anybody, and she would just come up to you and talk to you and show you like she really did care, and she was just that much of an amazing person.
We're just here to say that Alexis was a really incredible girl. She had a lot of potential. She was put on this planet for a special meaning, just like we all are, and she was taken way too early. And we all really miss her, and I don't know her as well as most of you guys did, but for the times that I had shared with her, there were times that I'll definitely remember, and I probably won't ever be able to forget. So she knows that she's looking all down upon us, and she's in a lot better place than she was before.
I think my favorite memory with her is it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was like me and like a bunch of our friends, and we went to the wetlands and we just danced all night. Like we literally just danced, and we took a lot of pictures, we took a lot of selfies, and you know, we had a lot of fun, and it's probably one of my best memories with her because it's probably one of her last, and I'm gonna miss her because she was a really great friend and she was always there for you.